Alrighty then, it's time for a Jungle Sion game, and yes, I know he's been nerfed for quite a while. Which one? But I had the best reason to play him. I wanted to play him, yeah. And I gotta say, yeah, he still kind of feels pretty shitty. Riot nerfed the hell out of him, and then nerfed the items that made him strong, and they didn't bother reverting anything. But yeah, I'll go into that in detail in a little bit, but watch this. LeBlanc lures the enemy team to this bush so I can just smash through them with a fully charged Q. That's already an incredibly good way to start off the fight. And thanks to Callista's infinite dashing passive, which is by no means broken, according to Riot logic, she's able to put enough quills onto the Dr. Mundo, who fucked up his pathing for some reason, and gets killed. Also, LeBlanc chases down the bears and finishes them off too, so we get 2 kills to start off with. This is kind of good because we kind of dick around too much and I'm not going to get any leash, so I'll be able to buy more potions from the get-go. If I was going to get any, since I'm not getting any leash and if I didn't have any bonus potions, I would pretty much be, well, terrible, at least clearing early. Thing is, ever since they nerfed Sion's W, it's been really awkward to use for clearing. Because if you use it at any point, when you're fighting the actual monsters instead of using it preemptively, they're just gonna pop it before you actually get to do the damage with it. Like, you can't really make too much of a strategic choice when popping it at this point. You just gotta mash it and hopefully it doesn't break before you get a chance to use it. So it is kind of a very crummy thing. In dueling scenarios, it's just gonna get popped real quickly. In trying to go for the world speed record at clearing, it's not gonna last. You're not gonna be able to pop it fast enough, so it's really shitty. And like once you get rank 2 and 3, the problem is solved. But that's till level 4 because you want to get your E or max out your Q first so you can start dealing more damage during ganks. Which, of course, here you can see that I ganked Mundo rather successfully, alongside with Aurelia. It's a very slow death of Mundo, it's like we were hitting him with spoons or something. Anyhow, Sion got nerfed by reducing his numbers, increasing his mana cost, increasing the activation of his W, and lowering the percentage of his scaling on one of his abilities. It was a lot of nerfs. Justifiable in some way, but then they nerfed Cinderhulk. And they nerfed other items, and it just kind of made him a lot worse. And they never reverted some of his changes. I think the W nerf was pretty silly. By the way, the LeBlanc completely outplays this Evelyn. It's so cool. Anyways, it really sucked. I mean, he was okay in the lane. I mean, not he was okay. He was really annoying. Once they nerfed his E, he just started kind of being okay, like a little fat zombie thing that you could control at least. And his jungle was always just like average at best. Of course, with his ultimate and shit like you see here, you can pull off some really zany ganks. Although it shouldn't have been really possible because the Nautilus shouldn't be so far in by himself, as you can saw the distance between him and Varus during that gank. So I really don't like how Sion got the shaft in this. Like, Riot kind of worked themselves into a really shitty situation. They know that damage shields are really broken in this game. You can't think of every shield in the game. If it deals damage, and the only way to stop that damage or stop the tankiness of it is to pop it before it gets a secondary effect, it's been broken at some point. Diana's W has been considered one of the more broken abilities in the game because if you can't pop it, she becomes even harder to kill, and then it's just kind of she runs into you, presses W, pushes your lane, hurts you, and then you just can't fight back. Same thing with Sion. If you can't stop a shield, he hurts you for a lot. And Riot, for whatever reason, decided to preserve that and created himself a balanced difficulty with Sion, which is why Sion got royally destroyed in this latest round of nerfs. I still like him. I mean, he doesn't really have anything too impressive as a jungler. I mean, he's got a shitload of CC, that's one thing, and he's, well, not a shitload of CC, but a lot of AoE CC, and his ultimate is rather unique. Although, when you see the scene, it's insanely uncontrollable. I couldn't move from left to right. I wobbled it too much, and then I hit a corner, and I just got destroyed. Here I try to go for the Nautilus trying to kill him, but unfortunately the Evelyn's going to show up. And I kind of panicked, used my Q. I used it too early so I didn't get to knock up an extra damage. So I still killed the Nautilus because I flash forward to murder him, but of course this makes it easy for Evelyn to finish me off. Ugh. So I'm a dead Sion here. And of course, there's another critique of Sion. His passive is usually just completely worthless. I would have preferred they give him something actually better than that. Or at least let me use my Q when I'm a zombie. Or at least in some form, you know, so I can provide something rather than running awkwardly at people and not doing very much. Although, coincidentally, you're going to see me actually do something funny with my passive. Here I go after the Twist Fae, he gets CC long enough for the LeBlanc to show up, and then Evelyn shows up and stops our whole frenzy gank. Watch this now. The Twisted Fae and the Evelyn kicked my ass quite a bit, but they didn't manage to kill me. I have my ultimate soon, so instead of going back, I want to put it on cooldown. Well, first I clear these wolf camps because why the fuck not? I want to put it on cooldown so I can start refreshing it and having that back up. I'm waiting for Twisted Fate. As soon as he throws his card, gold, red, whatever, I'm gonna go in. This is just so he can't burst me down when I actually hit him. So as soon as he's about to toss it, I run in there. LeBlanc knows that I was waiting for that. Boom. I don't use anything else except my E just to make sure LeBlanc gets the kill, because one of the sad things about Sion is he's really janky in team fights. Like he's kind of epitomizes hit or miss, and he can't really carry because his damage is kind of really unreliable. So you can't really make too many plays with him because they're very easy to dodge or whatever. You sort of have to force the enemy to eat your stuff and then just beat them to death right after or whatever. Sion's, again, one of those types of champions that wins through attrition or just really nasty setups for his team. He, even more so than Dr. Mundo or other champions, brute forces things. Like, I'll run into the enemy team, slam them with my ultimate, I'll just walk up to them and just start doing shit. If they can't really, fight back, because the amount of damage I can do if they try to slug it out with me in a position in which they have a disadvantage is really bad. Like here, the Evelyn knows if she eats this Q, she's going to die. Watch, I'm going to charge up my Q and she knows, okay, I just got to run. If she ate that, because she had no other means of escaping other than just flashing. If she ate that, she would have died rather easily. Even here, the Twisted Fate just kind of went in melee range of me, and once the second my passive comes in, I just kick him in the dick and he dies. That at least that's one positive of Sion. He does do a lot of damage when it actually works. So you can force the enemy team to use their abilities in really stupid ways because they can't just shove you away. I mean, if you can go in there with your ultimate, you can actually have tools to help out your survivability or your approach, or at least in some way. So it works. But I don't think he's going to be viable anytime soon unless he can be a top laner. As a jungler, he's just... and as a jungler, I'm kind of more using him as a sort of bodyguard slash quasi-initiator. It's just, again, his initiation isn't reliable at all. I mean, you can force the fight, but it's so telegraphed that if the enemy team dies to your initiation right off the bat, and they probably deserve to die to anything because you weren't preparing. When you hear Sion yelling, you know he's either he's running to gank you or he's running to cause a team fight. So you better put yourself in a position to get ready for that. Now, as far as Sion goes and any uses, like I already said, it's probably one of the best things is just to be a bodyguard. I love how I rarely stress the fate, by the way. Probably be a bodyguard, mostly because, again, his Q... if you blunder into it, it destroys you. His E is pretty good, and you can even use your Q as an impromptu AoE knock-up in melee range. One of the common things you can do with Sion is flash on top of the enemy team and press your ultimate, and it acts like a really shitty version of Malphite's ultimate. But it's something you can do. But yeah. So I used him as a bodyguard in this one, mostly because this Aurelia was stomping the shit out of the Dr. Mundo and the LeBlanc was properly fed. So I figure I'll set things up for them and try to protect them as best I can. If I can make it so Aurelia isn't the primary target, then we should win rather easily. Which is why you can see that my build is Righteous Glory. And I believe my next item is also... No, my next item is Dead Man's Plate, just sort of so I can run in there a little bit better. So yeah, everything for Aurelia. So I'm tanking the tower because I know Aurelia wants to tower dive, and then as soon as I get a chance, I slam into both of them. LeBlanc comes in, kills Nautilus, and Dr. Mundo soon follows. However, I'm taking too much damage and I don't want to get a free kill. At this point, I should be going home, since I'm pretty damn sure Evelyn is coming, but they wanted another kill on Twisted Fate. And of course, right now Evelyn just charges in, kills the Aurelia, and kills me. then kills the LeBlanc. Though I think actually we beat Evelyn to death, so that's still funny. Sorry for this. As far as things go with Sion, like I said, I don't think he's going to be playable anytime soon competitively. As a jungler, probably never, but as a top laner, they need to give him back at least some form of pressure, because right now everybody could just pop his shield and he doesn't do anything. I mean, against some champions, yeah, he can bully them, but he's a really weak shadow of what he was when he was reworked. It's almost really depressing, right? Riot reworked a champion. It worked out too well because they didn't follow their own design guidelines, and now they decided to nerf him down, and he's back into the dumpster levels of the game. So, I mean, even my team were in this game were a little like, Sion, is he good? And I just didn't answer it. If you caught it on stream, you also know I pretty much ignored it. I went like, So yeah, you can see this game is pretty much, it's not over yet because we're gonna fuck up royally, but we made a lot of gains early game. The level 1 team fight was a big turnaround, a big issue for the enemy team because they fed us 2 kills and they fucking blundered into that by being careless. Well, they got ganked rather early by me, and the LeBlanc got a huge lead against the Twisted Fate, and the Dr. Mundo played very aggressively against the Aurelia and got killed several times. The Aurelia is insanely aggro, and well, at least as soon as she hit level 6, she got insanely aggro. Here's what I mean. LeBlanc gets caught. I believe I actually managed to run away, but then the Zyra shows up for whatever reason because I think she tried to help people out. I thought she was supposed to die. I don't remember that quite clearly. Either way, as far as Sion goes, you guys know I ranked him C, and that's to encompass for meta health in terms that he won't be returning as a jungler anytime soon. Though I think even when he was viable, he wasn't really considered a good jungler. But he was mostly only picked because they wanted to get him off top lane from the enemy teams. Like, we want this top laner, we don't want the Sion to be chosen, period. So we might as well force him into the jungle and just remove him from the game. I guess poorly where Evelyn was going to run to, so my ultimate fizzled. Either way, though, as far as Sion goes in terms of fun, he's for a tank jungler. I don't really consider him a fighter, and he's like a more defensive bruiser. For a tank fighter, a tank bruiser, I mean, he's pretty fun. Like, if you like just being this gigantic brute who just punishes people for getting really silly, you generally are hard to kill, and your ultimate is like this gigantic kamikaze bonsai mode that absolutely wrecks people, then I'd go ahead and recommend him to you. I think he still costs pretty low IP, so someone you can easily pick up and start trying. But I have to tell you that you probably will find it hard to carry. Even back then when he was strong, he mostly was a carry by proxy / dominate the lane and just make sure that enemy top laner shit kind of way. I don't think he himself ever really had the chance to put people on his back and win games. So yeah, I'd play him, but I wouldn't really recommend it if you want to rank up or if you want to win solo queue. The only reason, again, I played him was because I find him really fun. Really fun on and off. I can't spam him anymore. He kind of makes my head hurt. Anyway, watch this. I love that. The Kalista threw the Aurelia to avoid the ultimate. Well, the Aurelia got hit by the ultimate, but she used it to refresh from it, cleanse it, and toss the Aurelia at the teammates. I didn't even know you could switch people with a black arrow at this point. Like, I didn't even know you could do that. So the Aurelia is bound to the Kalista at this point. We get the Baron. The Nautilus got a little too brave and got himself killed. Aurelia goes in and catches the Twisted Fate, charge up my Q and slam him as soon as he gets out. And it's such a brutalization of the enemy team. Anyways, if Riot wants Sion to come back as a champion in the League of Legends again, I would say they gotta revert his not his E, his W. For a jungler at least, they can make him this kind of brute force tanky jungler. Top lane, I can understand when he's insanely toxic as fuck and annoying as hell with his E and his unkillability, but they went overboard. They nerfed everything and they didn't really give him any compensation, and then they also nerfed the items he loved. So I do think Riot owes Sion a bit of love, because right now I'm the only Sion I've seen in a ton of games, so that should speak volumes. In fact, like I said, I understand that some people might find him boring, but it's still really sad from seeing him in every single game to having people question why the hell I'm even picking Sion. Like, again, somebody said, like, oh, Sion in this during Champion Select for this, and when I try to pick him in normal games with my friends, they would say, oh, you still play Sion? It's really kind of a bummer, right? I mean, I never played him prior to his rework, because, I mean, admittedly, he sucked even worse back then. But it just kind of sucks that you can jot him down as a sort of failure rework by Riot. I mean, he was quote-unquote successful at the beginning, but he was a balance problem from the get-go, and it only became worse and worse as time went on. So, my team finally decides to go in, and I just gotta admit, this is the funniest thing ever. I get myself caught, and I'm getting destroyed, so I decide one last ultimate to see if I can do anything. Yeah, it doesn't go well. I get destroyed. At least I punch Mundo a few times before I get laser beamed. Either way, the game is pretty much done. People voted for this one to be uploaded after the new one, and I usually post straw polls based on which videos you guys wanted me to upload. So follow Facebook to be on the lookout for these, so you can dictate which videos I upload next. Anyways, thank you for watching. Hooray for Sion. This channel is supported by my sponsors, Crunchyroll, Pro Build Systems, and Loot Crate. Check out the description below for links to the websites. Signing up for any trials, including Crunchyroll's free anime trial, greatly supports my channel. Also remember to give the video a like to support the channel and subscribe if you haven't yet.